you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. We're recording this before my sister-in-law's wedding.
That's true.
But she's getting married.
So exciting.
And this is going to come out right after she gets married.
Woohoo! The newlyweds.
I'm really curious to see how it goes. I'll have to update everyone afterward.
Why are you concerned?
Because it's a surprise. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
I told the girl during my spray tan, which is just like such a,
It's kind of fun to tell people things who have no connection.
Well, I was going to say it's a demeaning and demoralizing situation getting a spray tan because you're standing there butt naked with your arms and legs spread like you're getting checked into prison.
Yeah.
And she's in there with a spray gun, right in your crotch.
It's a choice you make. No one makes you go there.
The winter makes me go there.
You could just embrace your color, but yeah.
I thought you were going to say you could just go to a tanning bed.
No, oh my God, I miss those.
I wish those weren't bad for you. Now, a lot of the tanning beds I've seen, because when I get a spray tan, they say they have it's like red light.
Oh, really?
They do on your face, it's like anti-aging. On your body, it's darkening.
Oh, so is it okay?
No, I don't think so. Oh, so is it okay?
I was like, I'm going right now.
She was like, so what are you getting a spray tan for? It's like trying to make conversation and you're like, might as well just talk.
Brings you in here to take all your clothes off.
And you just have to act like it's a completely normal situation, which I guess it is. And I was like, my sister-in-law is getting married. It's actually a surprise wedding. And she goes, oh my gosh, to the bride or groom? Like,
I
what?
think that's illegal.
I was like,
ma'am.
Yeah, one of them thinks they're coming to an engagement party and the other one is like, this is our wedding, bitch. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I one time had a couple ask me if both of them needed to be present when they got their marriage license. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't just get you can't go and get a marriage license to Brad Pitt. Like,
Right. No, this is his ID. I have it here with me. He's good with it.
He just told me to go ahead. He'll meet me later.
And then were they like, I'm a huge idiot?
No, they were like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay.
So, yeah, it's not a surprise to the bride or the groom. They both know it is a surprise to everyone attending.
It's going to be so fun.
I'm just like, I want it to go off without a hitch.
There's no hitch at this point. That's like the best part. It's like the day before the event. What's done is done.
Yeah.
There's more stress when there's time to do other things. I find as someone who has chosen this path for my life.
She keeps saying is there like a master list of everything that we need to make sure we get done and bring? And I was like, yes. And it lives in your mind. And she was like, I just didn't know if there was something. Cause what if we're forgetting something huge? What if we're forgetting something?
Telling your guests. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I guess we'll find out there and have to
roll with the punches. That's showbiz, baby.
She's very worried that everyone's going to guess that it's a wedding.
I don't think that's something people even think about. Could this be a wedding? Which is the best part. You typically think you'll know when you're going to a wedding.
You would never think so?
I don't think I would ever be like, I wonder if this is a wedding. To me. Maybe I'm naive.
I don't think so either, but I think because we know it's you don't want to make it too wedding-y because this is the wedding. So they're I feel like place cards would be too much for an engagement party. And maybe too much decor would be what kind of engagement party is this? Or you're not going to have how people have pictures of their other family members getting married.
Right. You're not going to have that. But here's what I will say. Once they're there, if they maybe kind of suspect, it doesn't matter. And even if you suspect, you're never fully sure. I've suspected surprises, never a surprise wedding, but surprises were coming.
Yeah.
And they were still amazing when I found out I was right.
Yeah, no, it's not like you're going to do anything with that suspicion. Except
know
like
what?
turn to the person you came with. You think this is a wedding?
Yeah. And they'll be like, no. And you're like, really? And then you discuss it and then you go on with your evening.
And then you're like, I knew it.
That's kind of fun too. It's like, oh my God, what's that? Murder mystery, wedding mystery edition.
Yeah. So
Anne Marie got married in the parlor.
So yeah, we'll see how
I'm excited.
how it hits.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's gonna be great.
I, for one, am so excited to go and observe people knowing what I know. I love knowing what I know
Because
while
you
others
know.
don't know.
Yeah,
Like they don't know that I know.
they don't know that you know that they know.
Exactly.
It's like a couple seasons of The Bachelor. This is a horrible explanation, but like, I mean, comparison, but a couple of the seasons of The Bachelor, I've seen a spoiler accidentally from back when Reality Steve was alive.
Oh, I forgot about that man.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
But he used to spoil it because like people would see, I don't know how the fuck he got tipped off, but it'd be like so-and-so picks blah, blah, blah in the end. And you're like crazy. Like I remember Rachel, what's her last name? Lindsay.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel Lindsay's season got spoiled for me. And I was like shook that she picked Brian because I really thought she was going to pick
They
Peter.
got divorced.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like him then.
Oh, okay.
I really thought she was going to pick Peter. I like thought he was just so cute and they were so good together. But it was so interesting watching the season then because I found out really early. Like I was like, I felt like I knew something. Like I was like, they end up together.
That's why spoilers don't bother me. Like you hate spoilers. If you think someone is going to tell you something about a movie, you're livid.
It's pretty annoying.
I actually sometimes think it's
I want
more
to watch with
interesting.
a clean slate.
Like sometimes I will Google part of the way through a movie just to see. And then
Yeah.
I feel like I pick up on other things knowing what I know.
No, I don't want to know that. I'll just watch it again.
Who has time?
A step further that's worse than you is our friend Gabby, who will be on the movie's Wikipedia in the movie theater
Yeah, back when people went to theaters.
reading about what will happen. And you're like, number one, can you get off your phone? And number two, just live in the moment.
It's hard for people like us.
So yeah, it's just been a busy week. I just came off a stressful experience of
Picking up.
picking some things up. It's just annoying. I'll just say, let me just say,
Okay.
I emailed and said, I need this stuff to pick up on this specific date. And I said, it's for a party on the 14th, but I'm going to be picking it up on this day. I get there to pick it up. Not fucking ready. They're like, pick up the 14th? No, not ready. Oh, okay. Well, I need it. So how long till it's ready? We can look. I pull up my email because luckily, what if I had ordered this over the phone?
Which I always
Which
do.
you always do, and there's no paper trail.
But I always follow up with an email. I just like to talk to someone when placing
So then
an
what
order.
is the point? Just
I
double
don't
the
know.
work.
I don't know.
So I didn't have my phone on me because I ran in and left it in the car. And I was like, okay, well, I know that I need to pick it up today. So, And they were like, okay, why don't you give us like 10, 15 minutes and we'll have it ready. I was like, amazing. I go out to my car, pull up the email. Yes, it does say indeed.
As I suspected, I was
As
right.
I suspected, it's the day that I'm there to pick it up, not the 14th. And I go back inside about 10 minutes later. I'm like, hi, yeah, here to pick it up. I have the email just in case they want to see like that I didn't come on the wrong day. And they were like, oh, you know what? Yeah, the owner looked at it and she was confused because at the start of your email, you said the date of the party. And then at the end of the email, you said the pickup date, but she doesn't really care about the date of the party. And it was like blaming me for mentioning when the party is and when I'm going to be picking it up. Blaming me.
Are you going to blame me?
And I was like, and those actually seem like two relevant details in an email ordering something.
Yeah. I think in general, they just should have said, sorry, we got confused.
And that's where customer service is dead.
But it's,
The customer's always right. No more.
but I will say, as in a customer industry, customers are right, but they're also wrong.
They're also wrong, but I think the point is to make them feel like they're not right or wrong. And in your mind, just be like, sure. Like I was
That's
actually,
my goal. I'm always like, whatever's going on.
yes,
But then I'm like, where's the justice?
I was actually treating this business as if they were the customer. Like, sure, you're right that was in the email. Nonetheless, I'm here right now. It's just like customer service.
I mean, in general,
out the door.
It's gone. It's gone. It's not sustainable with the tariffs. You can't be like just giving people whatever they want. It's costing you a shit ton to get into this goddamn country.
I'm getting out of this country. That's one thing.
Oh, this has pushed you over the edge. The customer service.
Do you think customer service elsewhere is better?
No, I think actually it's worse.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Like,
how could that be? I can't get anything when I say I want.
I don't want to like put this on the people of France because I love them, but I feel like whenever in France, they're like, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Well, French people, it's because you're American.
Like, they're like, okay.
They hate us.
They're like, oh, you're bleeding? That's interesting. You being frustrated about this has reminded me that I'm someone who gets mad about things. Do you ever get angry?
Yes.
Like just I was showering yesterday. I remembered something and even though I've let it go, it's done. I got livid in the shower, no less.
And then you got out and did something about it or no?
No, I mean, there's nothing to be done. But like, I just remembered it happened and it made me angry again. I hadn't thought of it in so long. Does that happen to you? Like, I don't even know what sparked the thought.
Yeah, it happens to me if there's not justice, which is something that you don't give a fuck about. But if you got justice more often.
I don't think there's any justice to be had. I was just like scrubbing up, dubbing my hair. And I was like, oh my God, that was so fucking annoying. And I had to rinse my hair out and be like, wow. Basically, a couple of years ago, I had a conversation with a friend and we had two really different experiences with the conversation. And she communicated it back to her partner, like the conversation we had. I don't even think that this friend would have been like, say something, but my friend's partner took it upon themselves to text me like a little bit scoldy.
I know, this made you so mad. We'll never hear the end of it.
I was irate and I have forgotten, and something about it triggered me. And I was literally washing my hair and I was like, what the actual fuck?
Just to clarify, it would kind of be like if you and I were having a conversation,
yes.
You said something that upset me, and then Mike texted you,
yes.
my husband, and said, hey, FYI, I know you didn't mean anything by it, but maybe don't mention this.
Yeah.
And you would be like, I will talk to Rachel
however the fuck
I please. Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day.
I agree.
I was so mad then, but I decided to move on and never say anything. And maybe in your mind I should have for justice, but it didn't seem like a big enough hill to die
I would
on.
actually be mad at Mike if he did that. Like if I found out, I'd be like, I'm good.
I don't think my friend would be.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Yeah, you're probably right with that friend.
Like, I just don't see a world where that would be productive. So I just swallowed it. And I actually do know what triggered it. We were having a conversation recently.
You and I?
No, my friend and I.
Oh.
And she said something that kind of annoyed me in a similar like arena to what I said to annoy her. And I was like, oh. And
I'm about to trudge over and tell my husband.
Yeah, like I'm not a petty bitch.
I'm going to tell the teacher on you.
No, like, I'm not a petty bitch, but I was like, oh, should I? And I was like, no, that's insane, because I know she didn't mean it in any way. It just hit me sideways. That's on me. It's not a reflection of her. I can manage my own feelings and move the fuck on. But then I was thinking about that while I was showering, because I get a lot of thinking done in the shower.
Who doesn't? Me, actually.
And then it reminded me of the concept of getting mad. Like, I do that sometimes, like a mad situation.
Do you know, you should just listen to music in the shower, which is what I do. And then you don't need to get mad about anything. You just sing along.
That's a good question. That's a good idea.
Could have had it all. And you're like, God damn it.
I don't do it a lot, but like I do have these like little flare-ups of like, well, that was wrong.
Well, yeah, there was no justice in that. I think that would for sure annoy me, like, especially if it's like as close as we are. Like,
oh yeah, if Mike did that, I mean, Mike would never, but I would be like, I'm so sorry. Did you have an aneurysm?
No, actually.
Like,
you think I don't know how to talk to my best friend?
I'm good.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing so hard. It doesn't look like it, but I am.
You see rage, but it's funny. But here's the thing. I'm not like a blanket situation. Like, I'm sure there is a correct situation for your husband or your wife for that matter to step in. Like, I'm not saying I'm without being scolded. I think it just was so irritating because we left this conversation like, dee, have a great day. And then like an hour later, I got this text. And I was like, oh, so like you weren't honest with me.
I know. I've heard.
I mean,
I've heard this
I
all.
won't bore everyone. I just.
This happened a few years ago, but we're right back at it.
It's like it was yesterday. I mean, I think this was literally 4 years ago. But I'm just like, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna maybe take your suggestion about the music. I think I'll listen to music in the shower.
I'm gonna flip things because I have a good icebreaker.
Oh, good.
So you'll have to think of a dilemma.
Okay, I can do that.
Scroll through our submissions.
That I will do.
Okay. What is the biggest texting debacle that you have experienced? Like, meaning you sent something that you shouldn't have said, or you sent something to the wrong person, or anything.
There's two that come to mind that are scarring enough that they come right to my brain. I had a client many years ago who was like very nice, but very professional. Like I have some clients that are like chill, fun, like we stay friends after their event, or like even during the event, we're chatting, we're close in that way. This woman was like very regal, very reserved.
And you accidentally text her, eat my ass.
That would have been worse. But her name was Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
And my childhood best friend's name is Melanie. And I had gone on a date. This was like literally 10 years ago. I'd gone on a date and it was like not good.
Who were you dating at this time?
I don't even, it was like a dating app date. Like I never saw this person again. But he was just like,
iBrain?
No, this was like before that. Like this was just like a random dating app date.
Rando.
Or I don't even know what it was, but I texted her like a recap, like ranting about like men and like this guy was such an asshole and like guys suck, blah, blah, blah. Literally just like stream of consciousness, swearing, dropping the F-bomb, like so not what you should text to a client. And I texted it to her. And she responded like immediately. What was worse is I didn't even realize it. Like I hit send, put my phone down, moved on. Oof. She texts me back immediately. So I pick up the phone thinking that it's my Mel responding. And it's her being like, I think this was sent to the wrong person.
Fuck.
And I wanted to die. Like I was like, this is the end of my life. I called her immediately. And I have to say she was like very sweet about it. And I was like,
I'm so sorry.
I was like, I'm so sorry. My best friend's name is Melanie. And I had you both in my phone, obviously. And she was like, oh, no problem. Like still not like, we were never chummy, but she was like, I understand. It happens. Like good luck in the dating world. And just like moved on. But I really thought
that was nice of you to hit it head on.
I had to. Like there was no way around it. Like, oh yeah, I meant to text you this recap of my dating life.
Yeah.
And it was traumatizing. And that is actually where I started. Now all of my clients have emojis name in front of them, which
I
you
was
suggested.
just going to say, was that the impetus of us going through all of your contacts and putting an emoji next to work people?
Because now if you type the first part of someone's name, it won't come up.
Right.
Like only the first thing to come up is the name without the emoji in front of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. I can never have this happen
I
again.
remember us doing that, going through all your
because
contacts.
I came home and was like, my life is over. Oh,
so yeah, my life is over.
So we're gonna have to come up with something for that.
I don't actually think I have one for this, but I have one that happened to my friend.
Okay, that's fair.
I just feel like, I don't know, you have to get like embarrassed easily to have a texting debacle.
Well, you just said, no, that's not true. You have to text the wrong person. That's
know,
all
but
that's
then
required.
You have to be like, fuck. And I feel like I would just be like, whoopsie.
For the most part, like I do text the wrong person occasionally. Like, oh, sorry, I was thinking of, but like it's never embarrassing. Like
right.
It's just like, oh, sorry, wrong person.
Right.
It says like dinner at 7 ? And they're like, yeah. I live in Nebraska. No.
This happened to my best friend from high school. So she was living on campus one summer in college, and she went to a school that was like really annoying to get to from where we live. And so you had to take like a fucking train to a bus to a shuttle to a fucking this, that, and the other. Sure. So she lived with a couple roommates in this house over the summer, and one of the roommates was going to come pick her up from the like main station in in the middle of campus at like 11 o'clock at night when her last shuttle of whatever gets her there. So she's on her way, and one of her roommates, the one who was supposed to pick her up, was texting her being like, hey, like, what time did you get in? I can't remember, whatever. And she was like, hey, let's call this roommate Allison.
Okay.
Hey, Allison, I get in at 11, like, and she's like, 11, like, I'm not sure I'm going to be home. It's like a Thursday night, but this roommate was like out.
Okay.
She's like, I'm not sure I'm going to be home then. Do you think you could just take a bus? And she's like, I've been on 17 buses today and there is no bus. Like,
That's
it's
why
11 o'clock.
you.
Yeah, you're supposed to pick me up. And she was like, are you sure? Like, we only live like 10 minutes from the station. If you could just run out and get me, like, I have all my stuff from being home for the week. Like, and she's like, yeah, it's fine. I'll come get you. And then the Allison roommate texts again a few minutes later and is like, hey, I'm going to be running a few minutes late. Like, she knows that this girl's at a party, but it's fine. She's like, I'm going to be a few minutes late, but like, text me when you get there. So my best friend means to text me saying, Allison is such a cunt. Like, she's the least dependable person on the planet. Can you pick me up with like my 4 duffel bags at 11 o'clock at night from the shuttle station or not, you piece of shit, essentially. Mm-hmm. And instead of sending that to me in the heat of the moment and it being at 10 o'clock on a shuttle bus, she sends this to Allison. But she doesn't realize that.
That's the worst.
When you can't say, hee hee.
Or unsend. I mean, now you can unsend.
I mean, what are you even supposed to say?
Well, yeah, the youth of America don't understand. You used to not be able to unsend messages.
You just have to follow up and be like, wouldn't that be funny if that's how I really felt? Haha, see you at 11.
Whoops.
So she is sitting there looking out the window on the bus, like, and she gets a text from Allison, not knowing that she had sent her this. And Allison goes, find your own ride home, bitch.
It was deserved.
Yeah.
I mean, horrible. But like, you weren't going to expect this girl to show up if she has any self-respect.
My best friend calls me crying on the bus and is like, you will never guess what I did. I'm so fucked. I was like, oh God, I think you just called to apologize. You're like, I'm so tired. Like,
I'm delirious.
This is a nightmare. And she was like, I tried calling her. She didn't answer. Like, what am I going to do? And she's like, I'm going to be getting off like at this shuttle station with my shit. No one's going to come pick me up. This was pre-Uber.
Oh my God.
And so long story short, she got off the bus. Allison did not come pick her up.
She had to take a stance.
My best friend had to figure out how to get a cab to come pick her up and take her to the house. The other thing is that my best friend didn't have a key to the house. And so, and because Allison was supposed to pick her up and let her in, they only had like 2 keys to this random college house. And they had another roommate, but she didn't have a key. So she got to the house and couldn't be let in. So she texted both her roommates in a group and was like, hey guys, if someone could come let me in, it'd be great. And when they got home from partying at who knows when, they walked right past her sitting on the front step with her bags and let her inside. And we just had to grin and move on.
Texting, it can be dangerous.
But it was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Texting is very dangerous. You have to you shouldn't text much like operate machinery under the influence when you're not paying attention.
I feel like texting under the influence is fine.
I mean, it depends on how under the influence.
Oh, well, yeah.
Sometimes I would wake up and be like, no.
Like, if you can't text when you're under the influence, I mean, why have a phone?
Too under the influence. Like, I would wake up and be like, oh, God.
No, yeah.
No.
Agreed.
Come back, text messages. Wow. So, yeah, texting is dangerous. That's the moral.
Speaking of dangerous, do you know how airports like really cracked down on security after 9/11?
In theory, yes, we were 9, so I don't remember much about airports prior.
Okay, I do because of all the 90s sitcoms of like people.
Oh, right. Yeah.
People being able to get in and walk someone to the gate.
Literally chill at the gate. Yeah.
Yeah, like they'd be like, I'm sorry, like Ross at the airport saying goodbye to Rachel.
Yep.
So yeah, they had to crack down on it because they didn't want to let anyone through security who wasn't supposed to be on the plane, who hadn't been checked, etc. Like it was too dangerous at that point. And that's how it's been since 9/11.
Right.
But now I just read a story that says they're changing things. So it says a handful of airports are reviving the gate side greetings and goodbyes, meaning visitor pass programs letting non-travelers apply in advance or sometimes even same day for TSA approved gate access. No plane ticket required.
Interesting.
So they're saying this is a big win for family reunions, military homecomings. You know how people have to wait just like outside now? Like unless it's the international terminal, like there's nowhere to pick someone up inside.
Right. You have to like just pick them up at the stop or at the sidewalk when they're like shooing you away.
Right.
God forbid you hug your loved one who's been at war.
No, really.
They're like, move.
It's like, your friend is there trying to film a homecoming video and they're like blowing the whistle at you, like, keep it moving.
It's crazy.
Airports that let non-passengers into gate areas require applications, usually more than a day in advance, but some, including Detroit Metropolitan Airport, allow people to apply the same day. Number of passes a day also varies. Nashville Airport is participating. Seattle Tacoma is one of them. So some of the major airports are jumping on board, letting people get a pass to either bring someone to the gate and like hang out with them till their flight or be at the gate when they get off the plane.
I guess as long as you go through TSA, so you're not bringing anything into the airport that's a problem, and then you don't have a ticket, which you have to scan to get on the flight.
You can't get on the plane.
I really don't understand the issue. I don't even understand why you would need an application. Like if you don't have TSA pre-check, but you buy a ticket.
Because think about it. Let's say you have a flight, you go through security, and I have a pass to like just come and hang out with you because I'm
hanging out.
Have nothing else to do. Like
a free day.
Apparently I wasn't able to rip all my toenails off instead, but
you're like, no, please, I'd love to come.
So we're hanging out, we get a drink at the Chili's.
Oh, love those.
And then we decide that
chips and salsa.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We decide that you'd rather go home and I'm going to go instead. So I take your boarding pass and scan it and get on the plane. There's no ID check when you're boarding.
But what what I don't understand is if you don't have TSA pre-check, I guess because they look at your names to see if you're on like a no-fly list.
Well, yes, but also like there's no verification. Like when you're getting on a plane, you're just scanning your boarding pass.
Right. So maybe this is a terrible idea. Because that can still happen.
Yeah.
Have we just figured out why it's a problem?
Should we let someone know?
No, I don't want to get involved.
But also, speaking of when you scan.
Yeah.
Apparently, you know how they board in groups? Like now boarding group 1, now boarding group 2. So apparently like the system is not automated to say like this ticket goes with this group.
Yeah.
It's really up to the gate agent to like look at the verification and say like, oh, you know what? You're boarding too early or whatever. But now, I think it's Delta has updated their system so that it chimes loudly if you try to board too soon. Like if you're in group 7 and you're trying to board in group 2, it'll say like group 7 boarding, group 7 boarding.
They're shaming you.
Yeah.
See,
purposefully.
That's crazy. So like I do board a little early, but I never board that early.
You board in the totally wrong group?
A little early.
What?
Like if I'm flying, especially it's so crazy because I just flew Delta to Park City and we were in group 7 or 8 because like we don't have any status and never fly with Delta. And I was looking around and I needed to get my carry-on on because it had these surprises for my husband's birthday. And I was like, I cannot check this bag and have it not get there. And there were a lot of people, and I could sense that they were about to say, like, unfortunately,
You're going to have to gate check.
And so I told us to board with 6. But like, is 6 to 8 that big of a deal?
I don't think so, no.
But I would never disrespect boarding groups enough to go to 2.
Yeah, no.
That's bullshit.
I don't do that at all.
But I'll go a little early.
But I actually thought you weren't allowed. Like, I was just like, there's no point in waiting in this long line of group 2 and then them to say you're in group 7.
We should see if United has that, because that's what we mostly fly. If they don't, then maybe I will go with 2.
Yeah, but we're in group 2 on United.
But like, maybe I'll go with 1.
Oh, you're going to board in first class. Good. It's like when they say like anyone with like who needs special accommodations, or like military, or like people with children under the age of 2, like, please board early. It's like,
I never fuck with that.
okay, yeah, I'm not going to fuck with that. But also, when traveling with a child who's under 2, I'm boarding absolutely last.
I was saying that when we flew to LA with Jack and we did board early because he had a stroller and stuff, like, we don't want to be here long.
I don't want to be on this plane longer than I have to. I'm boarding in group 12.
As I feel with all things, I could better this whole system. Like, most things I think I could make better, but boarding a plane is one of those things I definitely think I could board better. I mean, I could make better.
It's like how Southwest boards from the back to the front, no matter your status.
Like, this is not a good system. I also think when you're getting off the plane, they always say, like, if you are trying to get a connecting flight, you can get off first. The next one should be if you have a child with you. Because not only is it annoying for the child, it's annoying for all of us when the mom is trying to get out and like get her stuff and get the stroller, like, let them go. Then it should be anyone who has easy access and does not have anything in the overhead bins.
Oh, you have a tiered approach.
Yes.
We've talked about this. I agree. They only say if you have a tight connection, please allow those passengers to get off first. I feel like I've only heard that a handful of times.
Well, it's when you're late.
Yes, it's when you're delayed. Normally, they don't say shit about fuck.
Yeah.
If you do not have a carry-on bag, you should be able to get off first.
Yes. Not if you're at the aisle. I mean, if you're at the window.
Huh?
If you're at the window and you have 2 people next to you. Because
then you have to shuffle through.
Yes. It should be if you have easy access and you do not have a carry-on bag, please get up and leave. And now we're left with the most annoying of the annoying, and we'll all deal with it ourselves.
And you guys can just figure it out. Yeah, I agree.
Like, I oftentimes sit on an aisle with my carry-on beneath the seat in front of me, and I'm trapped.
Yeah, because you're like, I checked a bag. I'm sitting here.
I just want to get off the plane.
Just let me off. No, I know. I do like to carry on when I can, though, because then I can just breeze out of there. But yeah, I read about that first story about people picking you up at the gate, and I feel like that's something you're going to want people to do for you.
No. I really don't.
Not?
No.
Okay.
Like, pick me up at the gate?
Just like, can you wait for me here?
No. I just want to go. Like, I don't need to, like, the rigmarole. Like, unless I was seeing someone I hadn't seen in 5 years.
I was like, this is really going to put a damper on me having to pick John up from the airport.
Oh, no. I see you every day. I'll see you in the car.
I know, but I feel like you'd be like, why don't you come in? No,
don't come in.
Okay.
This is always falls under shit I know you don't know anything about because of my obsession and your lack of interest. But I'm assuming you didn't see what Kim K recently said about her Chris Humphries ring.
No. Chris Humphries, what a blast from the past.
Totally. So I'm kind of dipping my toe in the new season here and there. And in the
is there a new season?
There is a new season. And she revealed in the most recent season that the ring she got from Chris Humphries was an 18 karat emerald cut from Lorraine Schwartz, which is like their family's favorite jeweler. And they were talking about it, and she said she doesn't have it anymore, which, okay, fine, you're divorced. But then she revealed that Chris Humphries actually only paid for about 1/5 of it.
Wow.
Like, she paid the majority of the ring, but then during the divorce, he forced her or said to give it back to like really cut ties. And I think she was like pregnant with North at the time and was like, whatever, I have more money that I could buy and sell this ring.
He paid for 1/5 of it and then wanted it back.
Yes.
Ew.
Yes. Which is so Chris Humphries, if any listeners watched anything about that relationship.
Still, like, around?
I mean, I don't think he's around, but I don't think he's very active in the celebrity world. And so it actually reminded me of a time. Now, that was because he was a loser. It's not that that man couldn't have afforded a nice ring. He was in the NBA and on a reality show. But I read an article not that long ago that talks about there is an uptick in women paying for their engagement rings.
Really?
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 Specifically if like the way their finances are set up, that they're making substantially more, or they want something more than their fiance is able to put towards the ring, that they're kind of filling the gaps on that. And I'm curious what you think about that.
You know, I'm torn.
I'm torn also.
Like, in like a traditional sense, it kind of sucks. It's like, okay, well, why don't I just not even marry you then if I'm going to buy myself my own ring?
Oh my God, that's not what I thought you were going to say. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I thought you were like, in a traditional sense, I get it. But you were like, no, in a traditional sense, what the fuck?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to buy myself this ring. Then, like, what can you do for me?
Oh, okay.
You know?
She's
it's
a
like,
trad wife.
like, I don't know. I don't like that feeling. But also,
Right.
in a situation where finances are so mismatched.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the person you're getting engaged to could afford like a little Cracker Jack ring and you can afford so much more. Then I think like maybe just go about it a different way. Like if I were Chris Humphries in that situation, I would talk to Kim's like business manager and be like, can we set up some sort of a something so that like she's already said she's happy to pay for it, but that just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
So like, can we set up some sort of a something where like
A payment plan.
yes.
I agree. I'm traditional.
Yeah.
Like in that way. And this is obviously only talking about like heteronormative relationships, because I obviously understand there's different guidelines. But in that sense, I kind of feel like you should, is it about the sort of ring you're getting, or is it about this person? Like, I want the ring that my husband or fiance can afford and like can help pick out. So obviously within reason, Cracker Jack rings aside, like,
Right.
you know, gumball machines, but like, is it that big of a difference to you? Like, I like the meaningfulness of it, that like Tyler got me this ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have the same symbolism if I was like,
Picked it yourself.
I mean, I did pick it, but like,
I know what you're saying though.
yeah.
And I just want to clarify, if it's like they can get you like whatever they can get you and you're like, I wish they could get more, but like whatever, then that's the position that you're in. It has to be such like an extreme imbalance
Yeah.
of finances where like one is literally
Yeah.
ring pop.
Ring pop vibes.
Yes. But I mean, on a somewhat of a tangent, I feel like I got a lot of flack when I picked out my own engagement ring with Mike.
Not from me.
Not from you, but like people were like, there's no surprise in it.
I feel like older people still do that.
oh my fucking gosh.
Like so many people would be like, he did so good when they'd see my ring, and I was like, well, we did pick it together. Like
bitch, I designed this.
like this is like it's an old adage. Like, so because my ring is east west, and so many people were like, how did he think of that? I'm like, he didn't.
Yeah,
What?
why would he think of that? He doesn't know shit about fuck when it comes to
Like,
jewelry.
he's never like, what? Like, women were like, oh my god, it's so amazing that he's so creative. I was like,
no.
what?
No.
Like, I sent him pictures.
But I'm just saying, when I got engaged, like people were like, that's no fun. Like they were like shitting on my party, and I was like, first of all, I don't give a fuck.
I have to wear this till I die, so I'm gonna fucking like it.
Yeah. Second of all, we went together. Like it's not like I went and like designed it and then sent him a bill. We went to jewelry stores together and looked at different stones and looked at different designs. And like, I didn't see the finished thing. I saw like a setting I liked and a stone I liked. And like, they didn't even do a CAD drawing. You got so much more than I even
I did
had.
CAD drawings.
It was like, yes, I like this tone, I like this, etc. And then when I saw it for the first time done, it was still a surprise because like I hadn't seen it done.
And I will say it was a fun experience. Like Tyler and I had fun going ring shopping.
Yes.
Like, sorry if you didn't do that, but like it's fun. They give you a glass of champagne. They're like, come sit, here are all these stones. You're just like looking at all these diamonds. Like, what in your life are you like looking at a tray of diamonds?
No, really.
I had a blast. I'd do it again. Like,
Exactly.
no, and I think obviously there is the conversation because most couples, and this was brought up in the article, most couples are living together before they get engaged, which I agree with.
Yeah.
So at that point, whose money is what? Like, we're supporting the same home, we're supporting the same bills. So like our money, your money and my money is kind of our money.
Mi casa, su casa.
Which I totally agree with. So like if you're like offsetting it at a certain point, like he's pulling it from a different account, totally fine. I just want the end dollars, like to that Chris Humphries thing. If he had called the business manager and set up a payment plan, beautiful, lovely, amazing idea. What I'm specifically talking about are women who purchase their ring free and clear, never discuss it again, and wear it. To me, it's like, well, why didn't you just buy a ring 10 years earlier?
Yeah.
But I do think bands are something you should buy together. Like, he's bought the engagement ring. Like, when we went and picked out our wedding bands, we just put it on like our credit card, like our shared credit card as one of our bills.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, pull that out of your savings.
No, yeah. Bands for sure. We also just went together.
Yeah, like at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like obviously a ring that you're going to wear on your hand every day is like, should be totally up to you. And if there's something that you really want, like, let's say you're like, I love this ring. I've always loved this ring. It's from this specific designer. And like my fucking mom used that designer, but it's gotten so much more expensive. And the ring is $100,000.
Whoa.
And your fiance is like, I can't afford that. Obviously.
You psycho.
You psychopath. And you're like, I totally get that. My parents are willing to chip in because it's what I want. That feels like that's too much meddling.
And do you want the ring or do you want the marriage?
Right. Like, do you not agree that that's too many cooks in the kitchen?
I even backed out of doing my ring because I was too involved, if you recall.
Yeah, I was like,
looking
enough.
at like every CAD drawing, and then I was like, you know what? I think I had to go to Tyler. I was like, I fucked this whole thing up. My apologies. You know what I want. Scrap that whole thing. And he did pick what he wanted based on what I wanted, but I was meddling McGee, and it was
and
bit
this
much.
Was after what?
You told me to stop.
Yes.
No, I agree, and I heed your advice.
After I told you it's enough.
It's enough.
You like had like 4 CAD drawings out to show me, and we're like rotating the images to be 3D on your computer, and I was like, why do we need to see all this?
No, and in my defense, I said, I think you might be right. I went to his office and I said, whoops. I've taken it too far.
I've really done it this time.
I've gone a little too far. I'm going to tiptoe out of here. I'd like you here to call and break up with that designer too, if you recall, because like the ring had turned into something I didn't even want at that point. I'd like overdone it.
Yeah, too much design.
I was like, you need to take it back to basics.
And Tyler was like, oh, good. Let me call her then. Yeah, no, I agree that like if it's a Kim K type situation and like that is the ring that she wants and she can afford to buy it herself, then like they have to have conversations about that. But I still think like make it as traditional as possible in that sense where like he buys it for her, like in a way.
Yeah.
Speaking of unhappy couples.
Ooh.
I read this article that said recent studies suggest that happy couples are less likely to post their partners or about their relationship on social media, and that those who post more frequently often feel insecure in their relationship.
Knew it. Agreed.
You think it's like a red flag?
Oh my God. Melanie, not to call back to, we talk about people who post, like people we have in common. We're like divorce court. Like,
and another tick in the divorce court column.
Like, obviously post sometimes, like birthdays, anniversaries,
random
large
like,
accomplishments. Yeah. Sure. Like, I don't think you should be like, people should be like, you have a husband? Like,
right.
They should appear. But like every week, little update, date night, moved this couch together. My husband's so strong. Like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, it says recent discussions and studies suggest a complex relationship between social media posting habits and relationship satisfaction. Some experts believe that excessive posting about one's partner may indicate underlying insecurities or issues within their relationship. Relationship expert Samantha Jane notes that overposting can be a sign of insecurity where individuals try to prove their happiness to others, potentially masking real struggles such as trust or communication issues. However, it's important to recognize that social media behavior varies among individuals and couples. Some may share frequently out of genuine joy and satisfaction, while others prefer privacy. The key is the intent behind the post. Using social media to celebrate genuine moments can be positive, but relying on it to validate one's relationship may reflect a much deeper issue. So basically, they're saying that if you're posting like everything that you're fucking doing together or how amazing your partner is,
baby ate a banana, it's like, I don't care,
then there's a problem there. Like the fact that you get this validation externally, you should get the enough validation internally in your own relationship where like posting is just like not even interesting.
You don't even think of it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I've thought that for years. But I think that not even just with relationships. I think anytime someone is excessively posting, not like influencer person, like that's their income.
Right.
And our podcast Instagram, which I need to be better about posting on. But like posting about their day-to-day life, it's like they're looking for people to think like that person has it all together. That person is so smart.
I just got really worried because I am wearing shorts and I got a spray tan and I'm sitting on your white chair.
It's fine. If there's tan on it, I'll get it out. I'm the last person to care about that.
I almost don't want to get up.
Okay, that's fine.
It's like getting your period somewhere, but maybe worse.
It's just stuff. This is all just stuff.
What are the chances that I'm sitting in this white chair?
You sit there every time.
Anyway,
so pretty good.
Go on.
Any person who's constantly like, this about my job, it's like they're looking for people to feel a certain way. Like they're so accomplished, they're so smart, they're so together. And typically when you want me to believe that, it's not true.
And
it's
like,
Dorit and PK.
I think like this doesn't even like, I can't even remotely speak on it because I'm so out of touch, like out of sync with social media. Like when you told me that you could see who views your story, I don't even I still don't look or care. I don't understand the point of that. The best part of posting a story is that then it's saved to your memories like a Snapchat. So then you can see a year later that this was your story.
Really? I've never done that.
That's the whole point for me. Like, why do you need to know who watches your story?
I get the desire. Like that's, I think, human nature. Like who is interacting with my post, but I'm not getting filled up by people seeing it or not seeing it. Like I'll occasionally after I post a story be like, oh, who saw this? Like out of curiosity.
Sure.
But I'm not posting enough to even make it matter. And I'm not like feverishly like, who didn't see it? Like,
right.
But I think posting continuously about any aspect of your life is not healthy because now you're not, one, living in the moment. Two, you're obsessed with how things look versus how they are.
It's like those people who post like every fucking relationship they're in.
I feel bad.
And then you know when they're not in a relationship anymore. How often does that happen with someone that we know? It's like they've posted every boyfriend or person they've ever talked to. And so they're like, oh, here we are on a trip. Best family vacation. They're on a vacation with their family and their new partner. Here we got a dog together. And then utter
silence. But I do kind of think you should have to announce after, like if you're going to post that much, keep us updated.
And after that, post a photo of you alone with an empty bottle of wine on the couch.
Yeah, it just
tell us. I know you guys have been along for the ride.
Yes.
Me and Chris broke up.
I do kind of appreciate when people do that. Like if they're consistent in their oversharing. That's a more annoying trait. Oversharing when it's good, air quote, and not when it's bad. Well, tell me it all. Mention it all.
That's like influencer.
Yeah, that's influencer. But like Allison, who I love, Allison Cooch.
Allison Cooch, I know you're about to bring her up.
I love her. I at least appreciate, like they moved into their dream house. They redid this whole house. And,
I'm here for a home reno.
Well, and she was posting like tight shots of her house. Oh. And it was like 2 days after they moved in. I didn't even think anything of it. And then she zoomed out and was like, guys, like I'm going to be real with you. We've lived here 2 days. It's chaos. I'm doing tight shots to like not show you the chaos. So she'd showed us these like pretty sconces in her bedroom and then zoomed out and it was like bags and clothes everywhere. And it was like, oh, you're a relatable bitch. When you're curating your life, we got problems, sister. We got big problems.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've never really thought about it, but like there are those people.
You never post me. Are you just so secure?
Beyond. Should I feel another way?
This bitch ain't going anywhere.
Like, what's there to post? Hi, together again. Here we are in the car for the 100th time today.
Yeah.
I just like, I can't even imagine that being interesting. Like Mike and I out to dinner, like when people post like date night, it's like, yeah, that's what you do with the person that you're married to.
Yeah,
you go out to eat.
I think date night posts are a little too much for me.
Like I got like you go on a
Vacation.
trip.
I was gonna say vacation pics I like.
Yeah, like you take a vacation, but like people will post like dumb random shit or like that's what all those stupid fucking days are for when people are like happy International Husband's Day. It's like, oh my god.
My mom did recently post son-in-law day, which I didn't know that was a day.
Son-in-law day.
Yeah. No, my husband doesn't go on Facebook, so it was lost on him, but
Oh, my mom didn't post shit for Mike.
she probably didn't see it.
Bitch.
It's real niche. You gotta be really in the weeds. Or maybe it was just Son's Day. And she added the in-law. You know what? I'm not clear. I'm not clear on what it was. But I asked my husband, I was like, we were laying there and I was like, did you see that post? He goes, I never go on Facebook.
Not one time ever. No.
I was like, shoot.
Yeah, no. Like when people post that stuff, it's like, is it that rare that you're like doing something where you're enjoying yourselves and smiling enough to take a photo? Because let me tell you, I'm oftentimes enjoying myself and smiling. So much so that I'm not thinking about taking a picture.
It doesn't feel rare enough to snap a photo of.
No.
I agree.
It's like the social media
Craze. It's not good for us. I'm hoping the pendulum will swing.
back to like snail
Normalcy.
mail.
No, just like normalcy.
I agree.
I did the work. I looked through and found a good daily dilemma.
Ooh, lay it on me.
Okay. So I'm going to name the two characters in our tale to begin with so it doesn't get confusing. Jessica and Katie. The most 90s names ever. True to my roots.
Okay.
Okay. Jessica and Katie are...
Did they say anonymous?
They did say anonymous.
Okay.
Well, they didn't give me a name, so that would lean me towards anonymous.
Okay.
They just said like my friend. So Jessica and Katie are in their late 40s and have been friends for 25 years at this point.
Wow.
But are extremely different women. Were extremely different when they started being friends, when they were in like middle school, and are still very different. Jessica's a little bit more blunt, a little more, I say aggressive, just as the opposite of passive aggressive, like straightforward, not gonna bite her tongue. She kind of describes herself as like a little bit of a ball buster. Katie is very meek, very mild, a little bit more subdued, is just very sensitive.
Sure.
In a word. And they've had flare-ups over the years about their friendship just because they communicate super, super differently.
And in a lifelong friendship.
And in a lifelong friendship, lots of highs, lots of lows. So Jessica wrote in and said that they've recently gotten to an argument that she feels is a friendship ending argument.
After
like over 25 years of friendship.
Wow. Okay.
She said more than that.
She slept with her husband?
No, nothing entertaining like that. She said that in the last couple of years, she's been noticing just like an underlying tone of tension and like what she called passive aggressive behavior by Katie. And Jessica was like, I always have the best intentions, but like I can be a little bit more forthcoming with my opinion about things or my advice. And like slowly over the last couple of years, areas of Katie's life have become off limits. So it was like the way she parents her children. Katie was very much like, I don't appreciate the way you comment on that. So Jessica was like, okay, we shouldn't really talk about children. And then it was like Katie didn't really love, Jessica didn't love the way Katie was being treated at her job. And slowly Katie was like, I don't appreciate the way you talk about my boss and my job and what I choose to do. Jessica was like, okay. And then Katie's divorced. And so Jessica would like talk to her about her dating life. She didn't like that. And so Jessica kind of realized slowly, but wasn't going to say anything, like, what the fuck do we talk about? Like at this point, anything meaningful that's going on in her life doesn't feel approachable or like she gives a shit what I think. So we're talking about the weather. But she kept riding it out and was like, whatever.
This is like a phase, maybe.
This is a phase. She's maybe very sensitive right now. I'm not going to change me because like this is who I am, but I'll just tiptoe around these things for the time being.
So just to clarify, over the years, Katie would like be talking to Jessica like you would a best friend and be like, yeah, so my daughter came home from school and, she's just talking about how she like needs a break from the kids in her class and everything. She wants to not go back for like a week. And I'm thinking it'll be okay. Cause like, if she has a week at home to really relax and refresh, then like whatever. And then Jessica's kind of like, I don't know if you should let her take a week off of school. Like that feels like a lot for a teenager to miss.
Totally.
And Katie's like, I'm not asking your opinion.
Kind of like, you don't understand my situation. Like Jessica was like, it was never, even though we've known each other the majority of our lives, it just felt like I never understood the situation.
Or like Katie complains about her boss, like making her work late. She doesn't get paid for her overtime, etc. when she should be. And Jessica's like, that's really not right. Like you have kids, like you have a life, like you're giving a lot to this job. You should talk to your boss about how you want to be treated. And she's like,
you don't get it. Like I am treated well, like kind of like 180.
Right.
And so Jessica was like, okay, like I'll tiptoe around these things. But this past week, I guess she decided she was done tiptoeing. Jessica did. And she kind of gave and she shared the screenshots, but she gave like a very,
she sent us screenshots.
She sent us screenshots. And so she sent this text.
Wait, how do I get to see the screenshots?
Oh, I'll send them to you. So she sent us screenshots, but she had written to Katie after Katie complaining about a bunch of stuff. Like what I thought was like kind of a nice message for someone who claimed they were like a ball buster, just saying like, I love you so much. I'm sad when you get treated this way by your kids at this point and your boss. And I want you to take like the airplane approach to put your air mask on first, your oxygen mask on, and then help others. Like you deserve so much. You deserve so much joy, blah, blah, blah.
That's nice.
It was a little bit more brash than that, but like definitely nice tone. Katie writes back basically like, I don't appreciate. Oh, and she'd also listed in there some instances over the past 30 years that Katie had been treated this way. Like, I hate when you repeat this behavior.
Hi.
Katie responds like, I don't appreciate the history lesson. I'm an adult. I don't want to be told what to do. You're constantly basically like inserting yourself in my life and telling me what to do. And I don't like it. And so Jessica sat with it and then responded like, this is exhausting. I don't know how to talk to you about anything of any context. Like I have deeper conversations with my acquaintances. I don't know what you're looking for from me personally.
Like if we're best friends from like growing up and we can't talk about any personal topic without you getting upset, what kind of friend is that?
And if like I can't disagree with you.
Right.
I don't know what service I'm doing to you, just being like, So Katie then responded.
Yeah, like I'm your bank teller.
Yeah, totally. Like this feels like something that you could talk to anyone about then if they just want them to awkwardly agree. So Katie responded, and all she responded was, exhaustion shouldn't be a part of a friendship.
Woof.
Jessica was like, what the fuck? So then she sent a long text message back saying, I can't believe that's all you got from that really long text message. I was basically saying that I'm exhausted and I don't want to be. I love you. I want what's best for you. I don't know how to be a friend to you, though, if I'm constantly agreeing with things that I don't think are good for you.
Agreeing with things that I don't think are good.
Like just be like, good idea. Agreeing. Yes, please. Totally do that. Katie then responded and said, basically sayonara. Like she was just like, we've been friends for a long time. I think we're not in the same place that we used to be. We don't communicate well. She said something about how like, I just want to be loved and you just want to be right, which was like zinger.
Ooh.
And then was like, let me know what happens in the future. If like major things happen to you and you feel comfortable sharing them with me, I'd love to hear about them.
I wish you well.
I wish you well. And Jessica wrote in being like, am I crazy?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I'm stumped personally.
I have a few thoughts.
Share.
I think one, I don't know if I'm the best person to give my thoughts on this too, because I personally have a really hard time having a close relationship with someone who I cannot communicate with honestly.
Yeah, you do. I'm just kidding.
And vice versa. Like I want them to be honest with me also. Like it's not like I can dish it out, but I can't take it. Like it actually makes me more frustrated when I feel like I'm not getting honesty from someone. And so this in general, this friend, it's just like that is a weird, like best friend of a million years. And let me just say, I don't need true and total honesty from like just any fucking friend or person in my life or like coworker, there's a line. It's your closest family, friends, etc., who you want to have, who I personally want to have that sort of a relationship with. Like, when something's annoying, say it. When you don't like something I'm doing, tell me. If you have advice for me and I don't want to hear it, be like, okay, I'll save it, but I'm going to tell you on another day. Like, I don't know. I don't understand the like dancing around. Dancing around is for people who I'm not that close to.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to do mental gymnastics to talk to your friend. And that's where I kind of agreed with Jessica. I do think that like something is going on. I don't know these people, but something is going on.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like Katie's floundering.
But like leaning in, maybe pushing her wasn't the route. But I can understand when you're frustrated and like you've had enough. Like I would hope that maybe Jessica could have laid low a little bit longer. It sounds like she's been trying to lay low and then the dam broke. Mm-hmm. And she was like, this is a horrible idea. You're doing really fucked up
I've
things.
laid low enough.
Yeah. But, and any time a friendship like that ends is really sad.
I just think in our friendship, like, let's say these two are as close as you and I are. And like, you're the more sensitive of the two.
By a mile, by a country mile.
And so let's say it got to a point where you were kind of like, and you have said this to me before, like you're like, I want your advice and your feedback, but like I'm not in a place to hear it, so I don't know what to do with that. And I've been like, okay, I need to like bring it down a notch. Like the way I would normally communicate with you, maybe you're just not in a place to receive that well, and that is an ebb and flow of life. Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna, instead of being like, that's really fucking dumb, I'm just gonna be like, let's talk about it. Like, why do you want to do that? Do you think that it could lead to this? Do you think it could lead to that? Like having more of a conversation, like soften the blow.
Yeah.
Because just like sitting back and letting and not communicating about anything is not a friendship. And so,
well, I think that's kind of what Jessica was saying. Like, I literally have deeper conversations with people at the water cooler.
Yeah.
And so to not be able to talk about the way you parent, work, date, interact with other friends, it's like, I don't need to talk to someone about like a reality TV show and weather. I can get that from acquaintances.
Right.
So I can appreciate that. And I do think, I will say, I think older generations, not to like make these people feel old, but like they are what?
40s.
Yeah. 20 years older than us.
They're in their 40s.
But almost 50. And we're in
Is that
our
what
early
you said?
30s. I said late 40s.
Whatever.
These
They're
people are
older than us.
These people are 15 to 20 years older than us. And I think there was less of an emphasis on like super honest communication, even 10 or 15 years before us.
I totally agree. Like our moms.
Yes.
Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Our moms do not talk to their girlfriends in the way that we do, which is sad.
For them, but they don't know any different.
Right.
But they don't. And my mom has commented on that. Like, you and Rachel talk to each other so much differently than I've ever spoken to a friend, to their own detriment. But I think if one of you is trying to like say, I want to be honest with you for your own, you have to also trust your friend's intentions. If you really don't think this person has your best interest at heart, that's a problem. But if you truly believe this person loves you and only wants to see you succeed, why the fuck else are they telling you to do this?
Right.
Unless you think they're a saboteur, your arch nemesis.
Are you a saboteur?
Like, that's a different problem. Do you have a mole or a pal?
Are you a mole or a pal?
Yeah, like we don't know.
If you have to stop and wonder if your best friend of 25 years is a mole,
get that removed.
That's where it should end. Yeah, get your mole removed.
Oh God, life's hard.
I just think like, haven't you proven yourself enough?
Right, and I think that's kind of, I shouldn't say this, but like I'm sure Jessica's like, enough.
Right.
I've been your like punching bag enough. Like, oh, don't say that. Don't say that. It's like, I am exhausted from not saying all the thoughts in my head.
But then Katie's coming in and saying being a friend or whatever she said, being friends should not be this exhausting. So like she's exhausted too. It's like, okay, maybe you know what? Like you guys aren't meant to be friends anymore. Like you were at one point in your lives and you've just grown too far apart. But like, if you tried to say to me, like, I don't want to be friends anymore because
Like, bitch, this is a gang. Like, you have to get jumped out.
yeah, like, okay,
wrong to say?
we'll have to kill you.
This is the mafia, and so we're gonna have to unalive you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she should send that back as a message. Like, I wish you well, says Katie. Jessica, meet me in the alley.
It's going down.
10 p.m.
Oh, well, I wish them well.
My advice to honestly Jessica is send one more like brutally honest text back. Like not even
because that's worked.
not even as nice as before. I would just say all the shit that you have been wanting to say.
And while I have you.
My advice to Jessica would be it's hard because they've been communicating about this via text, which is like from the screenshots. I don't know if they've talked on the phone. Doesn't sound like they have. But like just be like, I think you and I should like meet up and really talk. It seems foolish to end a friendship via text message of this many years. So like talk on the phone, meet up, see what the vibe is. And if it's not going well, burn the whole fucking house down. You just tell her everything that you've really felt. Your kid is dumb. Okay. Your husband's short.
Let's leave the kids out of it.
You know, like,
it's like
just
the Real Housewives rules.
Yeah, just say it. Say it and be like, your husband's in the pool.
I love that episode of Real Housewives.
It's over.
It's over. Like you've tested me and I've gone too far.
And leave her sitting there questioning everything she's ever done in her life. That would be my advice.
That's solid. If nothing, you're good for psychological warfare.
Or she could just call her up and say, I can't talk, but I call you later.
Call you later. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.